skeleton, Kevin?
Just the thrill of being able to go down the Olympics sledding track.
Track is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it's still fast. We're going to wrap it up and go back up to calm. Track is clear to start one for our first pilot set. Slide in from start one. This is a pilot sled. Into the Devil's Highway. Crossing the finish line. Pilot number 2, stand by. Coming through the chicane, into the heart.
The warning we've had so far is that it's
the fact that Martina played the annual game, some very talented athletes, but
you don't want to use color. Okay. What attracts you to skeleton?
Just
I have to think about that one. We are.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Start one for our second of 400.
And Cortina for the next 26 years. And vehicle pedals. Five issues, so it'll be 29 cents for the sleds and vehicles. The next competition.
Behind those push record times, and the push record, nicotine posted a 5:03 back in 2017. A 5:03 push, and that's the magic on the track.
Höchstgeschwindigkeit und im Ziel in
Yes!
Without their effort, this wouldn't be the event that it is.
And to your point, Carl, actually the Brazilian bobsled team was out here last month helping the track get the ice in shape as weather wreaked havoc on this track. It was all hands on deck trying to prepare this track for World Championships in such a spectacular event.
Over 1,400 meters of wheels and back here, guys.
1 minute to our forerunner sled. 1 minute.
And we're just 1 minute away from another forerunner sled. It's the IBSF International Bobsled Skeleton Federation World Championships presented by Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Welcome back to Lake Placid in the Adirondack Mountains in upstate New York. In the shadow of Whiteface Mountain on Mount Fun Hoevenberg is the Lake Placid Olympic Sliding Center. In 1932 on a natural track and on the old track that still lies alongside the modern one in 1980, they competed for the Olympic Games. The first run of the Women's Skeleton World Championships is just about to start. I'm Martin Haven, delighted to be joined in the booth by former US Olympic slider Zach Lund. Now, Park City is your home, Zach, but you know this place as well as any other.
I've taken a lot of runs on this track. This track is a unique track to the tracks in the world.
So tell us about the start. It's quite a long start in terms of the sprint.
Yeah, it's a long, flat start. You have to give a lot of steps in to get a good time there. You got to get over the crest and get some accelerating steps over the crest.
And then heading down through the first couple of corners into Cliffside and down to Whiteface. It's so easy to give the race away early on.
Yeah, and 3-4 is one of those unique curves where you actually want to take a little hit to help you get over to 4, which is pretty unique.
And then the Devil's Highway, never ending if you get it wrong.
Critical area. This is where the race will be won and lost, is in the Devil's Highway.
Shady 2, named after Shady on the old track. Most of the old track was shady in its nature. Down into the labyrinth, and then perhaps the signature look of this track down through the chicane, trying to shoot straight.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to shoot straight. It's a tricky curve, tricky area to get through, and you'll see a lot of action through there.
17, 18, 19. The heart or the graveyard of speed. Uphill to the line. Don't hit the wall before the line. It's not easy, is it? This is not a glider's track. It's not Innsbruck. It's not Calgary.
Nope, it's not. It's an abrupt track. Every track has a rhythm, and this track has a very unique rhythm. It's abrupt. It's hard, and it challenges a lot of athletes. It's not something they're used to.
Good start is always important, but here, drive is more important than the start. You can outdrive your start, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's important everywhere, but yeah, here you can drive, and driving will make a difference here, and then conditions are going to make a lot of difference today too.
So who's among our favourites? Well, you've probably seen some already. There's Jackie Pfeiffer from Germany, Chao Dan from China. Might be a bit of a dark horse. The Chinese men were up in the top 10. Valentina Margalio, so much speed occasionally, and hasn't yet produced it in a World Championships in a big event. We've got plenty of World Championship medal winners in the field. We've got Olympic champions. In fact, we've got the last world champion on this track, Katie Uhlender, back in 2012. Saw a little bit of footage of that last night in the opening ceremony. Boy, she looked like a child.
yeah, she's been sliding a long time. I'm willing to say she has more runs on this track than all this field combined.
You might be right. You might be right. Actually, the woman with most World Cup starts is Janine Flock, because Katie kind of has taken about 3 breaks from the sport, but she goes off 20th in our field of 29 athletes. In fact, we're down to 28 because after a crash in training day before yesterday, Ana Torres Quevedo of Spain will not start. Our World Cup champion Janine Flock gets us underway. First of 4 heats of the Women's Skeleton World Championships in Lake Placid. Plenty of noise from a crowded Lake Placid track. Janine, 35 years old, in her 13th World Championships, a 3-time Olympian.
That's phenomenal. She is a true veteran of the sport.
Well, she's had World Championship medals in singles, but she has never been the World Champion. This could be her year.
Nice line there, going to 4. It's really important to get the speed going through there. It's a hard area to keep speed through this highway. Nice so far.
She's such a fluid, flowing slider, and that just is going to make a big difference here as well.
Nice push from 10. It's a good spot to get a lot of speed right there. 110.
Decent speed.
If it hangs you up like it hung up right there, it'll push you into that right wall. So you get that curve early.
Right, well, this is like when we saw Matt Weston in the first heat. We don't know how good the run is until he gets some more on the ice. It's a little frosty, the track not as quick as it was in training. Probably 2 or 3 seconds slower than they were in training.
Yeah, which is that's something they're not used to. So it's going to be hard to adjust those steers and the lines for today's conditions, which they haven't had.
The good news is we're just seeing the sun starting to come out. Well, that's not great.
Is that good news?
Well, it is. The shades are down, so it won't be on the track, but it means that the air is groove's going to be less humid, and so it'll frost the track a little less.
Yeah, this groove looked like earlier the men's race. It was kicking a little bit. She does a great job of handling that. Good entrance into one. Little hung up there, a little early on that entrance. And then right here, you can see in 14, if you stay on that curve too long, it's going to do this a lot of sliders to push them, and then you lose a lot of time in there. Really important to get off 14 early.
Hi.
All right, so Janine Flock, our World Cup champion, dominant force this season. Kimberly Boss ended up in second place in the overall points rankings, got another Crystal Glow, Olympic bronze medalist in 2022. Let's see what she can produce in her 8th World Championships. Started her World Championship campaign in Innsbruck in 2016.
Yeah, she's definitely a threat.
She's been a silver medalist before. That was in San Moritz in 2023. 5:28, a 10th quicker. So she's fast. She's sliding on a tailor-made sled from Crystal Bromley, Dr. Ice.
Dr. Ice. Used to compete against Dr. Ice.
He was the world champion on this track in 2008.
So a little flat there, fighting a little bit right there. It's going to cost her a tiny bit.
Scrambling, isn't she? Trying to get ahead of the sled again.
Dropped down 10 a little early, a little step in the right left-hand wall.
Probably sledge respond to you being as loose and relaxed as humanly possible. Gaps come down though.
Very sensitive sleds.
2200s down to 1400s. She might be just in the lead of the line. 19, so she found something in the heart.
Yeah, it was a decent run. Good first run.
All right.
1900s are a second quicker than Janine Flock.
So some of our anticipated contenders coming out early. The top 10 in the World Cup standings got to change their choose their start draw.
So you can see there, hung up a little bit there, a little hit, but handles it well. She does a good job of keeping him from going too early here. Good save.
All right, that's good. I'll take it.
She debriefs at 200 miles an hour as well when she gets off the sled. It's this stream of consciousness garbled down low.
You gotta love it. It's exciting. It's exciting to do it. And I love that smile. I mean, why not have fun, right?
Now, here's one of the big stories of this season. For Brazil, Nicole Silveira. I know that the coverage is going live across Brazil on their biggest sports network for the first time. There's a lot of support here, based in Calgary, so she knows this track as well. This is where she grew up on these North American tracks.
Myself and our coach Brian McDonald, we actually were the ones that kind of helped talk her into doing the sport. We said, hey, you would be really good at this sport, and lo and behold, look what she's doing.
5:35 getaway, 300s quicker.
Oh, bit of a skid there. That's going to cost her.
Second fastest, losing speed early on is speed you never get back.
Yeah, it's a sport where it's a gravity sport. So once you lose that, it's hard to get back. Even if you steer really well, it's gone. Highway's looking great though. Really solid highway.
She's got a decent push and she's really sliding well this year.
Going up a little bit there on 14. Let's go see. Oh, she's going to get through. That's nice. That should help her bring up a little time here.
2100s back. She's bringing down the deficit to Kimberly Boss, both on Bromley sleds. Her sled built by Richard Bromley, her
There we
coach.
go.
55.76. There's Mimi Reneva, who's helping out with the coaching. I know Richard will be watching at home. He's at home having knee surgery.
That 14, that chicane was beautiful. That brought her back and got her right back in it. Make up for the mistakes up top.
It's not about adding speed. It's about not losing speed, right?
Yeah,
because
it's like
gravity adds the speed.
It's like a half pipe. You know, you see people that do half pipe. If they mess up a thing and they don't pump that speed, their jumps get less and less high. It's the same thing where they're building speed. If you miss it, you miss it, and it's gone.
Yeah, John Montgomery, 2010 Olympic champion, said that if you put a bag of potatoes that weighed the same as him on a sled, it would probably win the race because it's not arguing with the sled.
Sounds like something John would say.
Yeah, that's Montiora. All right, now then, Olympic champion Hannah Neiser. And she was the world champion as well in Winterberg in Germany last season. 24 years old, 4th World Championships.
The Germans are always a threat. They have one of the best programs in the world. So.
Also a Youth Olympic silver medalist in 2016 in Lillehammer.
Little kick there, that right groove. She's the first person that's gone that right groove.
Yeah. She might be the last. People can't. That's your routine. If you push on that side, that's your routine. You don't change it unless something really dramatic happens.
It's hard to switch. It's hard to switch. And sometimes, you know, in a race like this, you have to be the first person to try it. And she's looking good right now.
Most for a switch hitter is an extremely rare thing. Changing, from being a southpaw to being a regular fighter doesn't happen either. Second best speed.
A little action there.
In the men's competition, 2 German sliders in main contention. This is Hoevenberg losing ground. This is going to be a long way away from the front of the field. Nearly 9/10 back.
She'll be frustrated with that run, but definitely some opportunity in the second run to clean up some things and get right back in it. It's 4 runs and they all count. So.
Some of the shortest transitions in the world, very similar to Segulda.
Bronze medalist and team gold medalist last time out at Winterberg. Olympic champion Hannah Neiser.
Absolutely, very good point. You can see her.
She's had a strong season, 3rd in the overall World Cup rankings.
Yeah, it's hard when it kicks you like that. And here she just hung up, hit too early here, and that hits her flat. She doesn't catch the exit of the curve. She gets a lot of height because of that. You can see catch some airtime there.
If you want to know how that happens, if you drive a car and you get to a corner and then you suddenly realise it's a corner in the dark and you start turning late, well, you know you run out of road on the end of the corner.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
Not a fun feeling.
Matt Weston's dad in the blue jacket, so that hails the arrival of our first British slider. This is Amelia Coltman, European Championship bronze medalist this season. In her 2nd World Championships, she finished in 6th place in Winterberg last year.
Yeah, British program, another great program.
All 3 of our British athletes have been race winners, 2 of them this year, 1 last year in the World Cup.
She handled that right groove a lot better. She probably helped seeing someone go before.
You what to expect.
You would expect, yeah, it helps. Nice smooth hit there, 3 to 4.
Sometimes you've got to take the hit rather than make a big steer, right?
Yeah, that's actually one of the few places in the world where it actually is better to take the hit. The amount of steering it takes to get the line without it cuts so much ice that it slows you down more. Pretty unique.
Bobsleigh leader. She's dropping time, 2400s back it comes. 4/10 back at the next clock, perhaps.
Well, the work there, some skids.
All right. She's kind of halted the loss of time. Only 2900s back. Ahead, Olympic champion Hannah Neiser on the splits and across the line. It's 4th place, but half a second back is a big margin.
Yeah, definitely some things she can clean up there too. But, you know, first round of the world champs, you know, get under your belt and get those nerves knocked off.
First heat of the men's race, the leader was 4400s ahead of the tie for 2nd, and that doubled in heat 2. The top 3 at the moment in the women's race covered by 1900s. So there's Amelia with the area formation team red arrows on her helmet.
Yeah, see the nice little skid there. And just squeaks it through here. Not ideal line, but she was able to save it. Great job of saving that chicane. See her just the body English kind of brings it back there. Little skid you can see there, but
she was trying hard to avoid the wall on the exit, and of course the skid with maybe a little too much of a steer. But the conditions have been different every day they've been on the track. So from Amelia Coltman to one of the more experienced sliders, Jackie Pfeiffer. Jackie Lurlingers was when she was the 2017 World Champion. Silver medalist on her home worlds in Winterberg back in 2015. She's been an Olympic silver medalist in Pyeongchang. This is her 9th World Championships. Lots of experience. Doesn't start fast, but boy, she finishes.
Yeah, she knows how to drive. She is a great driver on this track. 5:44.
Well, the Germans dropped her from their World Cup squad for at least a couple of seasons because her starting wasn't up to snuff. without actually spotting that she's won loads of medals, and that's enough for starting.
Oh, little hit going into 4. That's going to, yeah, that hit her flat. That's going to hurt.
Now, when you haven't got a start, you can't afford this contact.
I made a career out of it. When you don't have a great start, you can't make mistakes like that. You have to drive really well, and she's made a career on that. Another hit out of 10. Not ideal. Great 12 there.
6th sled on ice, 6th position on the splits, finding speed despite these contacts.
A little surprising from her. It's definitely not her best run, but I'm sure that she'll bring it back these next rounds.
That's one of those that would have been better off staying in training. 56.44.
8100's back. 56.44.
So top 2 Germans at the moment, 5th and 6th out of 6, and over 8/10 back.
And the thing you got to remember too is when the conditions change this much from training, these athletes are still there. I mean, they're figuring it out on the fly. You're going down track and you're like, oh man, this line isn't where it was earlier this week, and you have to adjust. You have to adjust on the fly. It's not easy.
Yeah, you get one chance to get it right. You don't go round lap after lap after lap.
No, unfortunately, they all count.
There's no lets.
Comes out here decent, a little skid here, but she does a decent job of saving that line. A little late into 17.
Yeah.
That explains it all right there.
Next up for Belgium, Kim Marmon, silver medalist last time out in the World Championships in Wittenberg. 9th world for little Kim as well. She made her debut in Wittenberg back in 2015 in the World Championships. Again, she's had a stellar season.
Here you go.
A little hard hit on that 3-4. She did a great job of handling it. Got a pretty smooth highway going here.
Trains with the Colson Bearer of Brazil. They're both coached by Richard Robbins. It's the same equipment. 100th up in the lead.
Great 10. 1:10.4.
This is Kim versus Kim. Kimberly Boss versus Kim Marmon.
Here's the speed to the speed test.
1:16, 72.2 miles an hour. Head first on ice, no brakes.
It's a solid run.
Yeah, that is a solid run. 1600s in front. Well done, says Mindy Reniva. And you know, you don't win the battle, but it puts your mind in a good place if you have a good first heat.
Oh, it really does. It's about setting the stage and coming out confident, and it does a lot for your next runs, getting you off to that good start.
Kim started off in the German program. She is a second ahead of the best German athlete at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job right there. Right here you can see she just squeaks this through. I mean, that's a fraction of an inch there. She's getting through there, but it's all counts.
Yeah.
That's all it takes right here. One little hit right there, pushed her off, but she avoided it. Keeps that speed going.
Nice run.
Dangerous off track. 3 more.
2 more, 3 more, maybe. Next up then, Tabby Sturker from Great Britain. Now we have athletes coming in from all sorts of different disciplines, including ballet dancing, track and field. Tabby Sturker's background, she was a circus athlete.
Really?
Genuinely, she's gone from circus school to the circus on ice.
I love that.
From the high wire. Yeah.
I did not know this.
No.
That's the one thing I love about the sport skeleton. You get a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different sports.
Everybody
hard to kick out of the group.
Yeah, but 5:17 getaway. She's an electrifying starter. Fastest in the field so far.
She did a good job of getting it back, though. Immediately. Yeah, looking good. Great job recovering after that.
Just won a race this season. She's been in positions a couple of times. Hasn't quite come together. Won last year.
Great highway.
Yeah, nice looking run. Now comes back to level with Kim Marmon.
Not quite the speed, didn't get the push. She dropped out there a little bit early.
Too many errors early on, just robbing her of that velocity.
Oh, there's that hit.
Big through the chicane. Still second place, 900 back. Could be top 2 at the lines, could be very close with Kimberly Boss in the Netherlands.
Wow.
And she's 200s behind Boss. And What a good run, coached by Matthias Guggenberger with sleds by Martin Stukurs. You don't get too many better coach sled builders than that.
You don't. That's a solid team behind you. And I mean, other than that little mistake out of the groove, she did a great job of bringing it back and getting some momentum going.
Looks quite a lot like Matt Weston's first heat. A few taps that you might not necessarily expect.
A little head tap there.
Dug in deep.
To wake you up.
And she gets the 2 pings, but the runners are coming directly out of the chicane.
That's key. That's key, is keep those going. You don't want to get that strong skid through there. That's what really costs you.
Exactly. In the red jacket there, head of performance for Team GB, Natalie Denman. Who's helping sled dog this morning as well for some of the smaller nations. Okay, so Kim Marmons of Belgium still leads. Suzanne Kreyer for Germany now, the 24-year-old, was at that stage the youngest world champion 2 years ago in Samoritz when she claimed gold. She no longer is.
That's amazing.
World champion is yet to come. Yeah, you need to start sport young.
5:35.
And again, a bit of a classic German slider.
Yeah.
Precise, neat, clean lines, but not the greatest starter.
Yeah, she has good form, nice and smooth. Oh, little direction going away from there, and that cost her. And this is going to go behind in the highway.
Quietly spoken, she's quite a slight athlete as well. Not the tallest, not the heaviest. So when you make those hits, the mass isn't there to help re-accelerate.
Yeah, she did a great job getting it back, but the damage is done, unfortunately. Speed wasn't quite there out of 10. Let's see where it's at here. 114.
Chicane, only the 7th best speed. She's our 9th athlete. And the 2 that were slower than her are her teammates. 6th at the line. That's the best of our German athletes. She's ahead of Amelia Coltman of Great Britain by 300s.
Yeah, that hit the 3 to 4. She got her direction was away from 4, which really cost her. Hung her up on the exit 4. She hit before 5, and that really cost you a lot of time and speed.
Now, for the Europeans, of course, they have much greater knowledge when they've started at the European tracks. So they're sort of venturing into the unknown. But, hey, suck it up, because the USA, Canada, and the smaller nations that train in the North American tracks spend most of their careers, as you have, Zach, on tracks that you're less familiar with than the rivals.
Yeah, this is one track that there is definitely a home track advantage. There's definitely a home track advantage here. It's not a place people got a lot of runs up. That's obviously not in Europe.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you'll definitely see that.
Little pensive Suzanne Kreyer. Next up, Freya Tarbit, our first World Championship rookie in the field. Junior World Championship bronze medalist, Winterberg 2023. She's 24 years old. Raced just twice here in North America's Cup weekends. So 4 races, that's 8 race heats plus 6 in training. Yeah.
See if that rattles her all. Your first time in a world champ, sometimes something like that on the start can rattle you. She did a good job. She's handling it really well.
She has been a winner this season as well.
A little hit before there. That's going to hurt her. A little hit there. Hanging up in the highway.
Just a little tight at the beginning of the run.
Yeah, it's to be expected. First time in world champs. I mean, this is the nerves are get there. I guarantee that the next runs will probably get cleaner and cleaner with her.
Yeah. 8th best speed at the tail of the field at the moment, Freya. Oh, that's hurting.
Yeah, she'll be happy to get this one under her belt and move on.
Hurts the speed and hurts the shoulders as well. When the sled hits the ice, you kind of see it, but in slow motion, you really see how the body follows.
Yeah.
And hitting an ice wall doing 70 miles an hour is nobody's idea of a fun time.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be excited to get the second run under her belt and now those nerves are out, and she's done her first run in World Champs. It's good. Hung up there on 12 a little bit, a little early to 13. You can see that pushed her away.
Twice this season, that was early on, did very well in Yangqing and Pyeongchang.
And the ice coming off the wall tells you the energy that it's taking out the sled. If you kick the wall to get the ice to spray up like that, you're likely to break your toe. And that, I mean, we're not talking snowbanks.
same.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good hitting the wall at that speed. It's not as pleasant as you might think.
All right, now then, for the USA, this is one of two hot chances, I would say. Mystique Rowe, sensational start speed for the 30-year-old. 8th in the World Championships in Winterberg last year. She was the push World Champion gold medalist.
Yeah, she's a great start.
Yeah.
Hard worker.
Champion last season as well.
Good start, good load, nice and smooth. There you go.
Very quietly spoken and quite an internalizer, I think, quite a spiritual thinker. I think she's quite a lot like Mimi Reniva.
She is, she's a tough cookie. She really is got a good mental game. I'm really excited to see what she can do here.
Look at this.
Looking great.
Is the focus on her having an effect? It really doesn't seem so far. Nearly 2/10 clear.
Good
Whips it down out of Shady.
Coming off a little bit on 12. Little skid there. Could hurt her.
Yeah. It's going to take a little speed away.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful chicane.
Chef's kiss through the chicane.
That's going to help right there. That's good speed out of there.
Oh, she's just dropped level with Marmon. 600's back in the line. There's a race on. Matt Antoine, your former teammate, the coach, looking pretty happy with that. She's got one under her belt. She's in the frame. It's only her 2nd World Championships, and it's home track advantage stroke pressure.
Yeah,
the expectation.
I talked to Matt earlier. He said she was doing well. He was really excited about what she could do today. Yeah. And she just proved that she can be right there in contention. And it's where you need to be, within striking distance. It's a long race.
Yeah, right. Yep. She's fractions behind the Olympic silver medalist.
Beautiful chicane. It's not a better feeling in the world than going through that chicane that straight.
I said Olympic, I mean world silver medalist Kim Malman still leads. Mystique Rowe, 600's back. There's the smile.
Number 516.
1800s covering the top 4. This is a tightly packed field. So, from Mystique Rowe to 22-year-old Chinese sider Chao Dan. 3rd world champs for her. She made a debut in St. Moritz in 2023. 5th place finish in Winterberg last year. And Dan is definitely one of the up-and-coming sliders from the Chinese development program. Don't slip off the block when you push away.
Talk about an up-and-coming program.
Yeah. Well, you always see Patrick Singleton there at the top, one of the guys that you would have stood against.
Yeah.
You know, as your careers overlap, but he and Dirk Matchens, such a strong combination, designing, developing the sleds, coaching the athletes.
Yeah, legends in the sport. Dirk has been around a long time, great coach, getting this program going in the right direction.
Well, for Dan, it's only her 2nd World Championships, which she was in the Youth Olympics in 2020 in St. Moritz. She was in the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2022, so she's not unaccustomed to big day pressure.
Yeah, she's looking pretty good here. She looks like she's driving a bit much for the conditions, but she's keeping a good line here. And see where she ends up.
5th best start, but only 11th speed at the bottom, so 9th across the line. She's in the top 10, ahead of Jacqueline Pfeiffer, ahead of Olympic champion Hannah Neiser, who are 10th and 11th.
That's saying a lot right there.
She's hanging out with good company.
Yeah.
They are a little adrift of where they would like to be, but there are 3 heats and a lot of changes could come.
Yeah, it was a good solid run. She looks happy.
Yeah, she often looks very happy. There you see the spikes that are on the running shoes.
Yeah, the start block here, I think it's a plastic block, if it's like I remember, and it's a little bit slippery as compared to a wood block. It's a little bit hard to get that traction on there. Right there at 10, she dropped out a little early, and that definitely cost her out.
There's Dirk. Holding the sled down at the bottom, the man who builds them all and leads the Chinese program. Now, for Czech Republic, Anna Fernstedt started her career in the German team as well. 7th World Championship. She made her debut on home ice for her in Königssee in Bavaria in 2017. Team bronze medalist that year, a 2-time Olympian. Sixth place for Germany in 2018 in Pyeongchang.
Yeah, great veteran. She's a good slider, has a good flow to her. As you can see right here, this is looking really nice so far.
Discovered a couple of years ago that part of the reason for her fluctuating performance was that she has diabetes, which had lain undiagnosed. 11th at the start, 8th on the splits already. This is classic German sliding.
She's looking really good right now. She's putting together a great run. Let's see how she gets pushed. Great. 110.
Second best speed. What a phenomenal start to the competition for Anna Fernstedt.
This exit right here is going to be key. Yeah, she sticks it.
Drives her way through beautifully. Fourth best speed, top 5 all the way. Nicole Silveira, Brazil, is in 5th place. And Anna Fernstedt for Czech Republic is just in front of her by 0.07 of a second. So 0.3 covers the top 6 now. That's a great start for Fernstedt.
Yeah, for that start time, that was a great run. She really brought that back and drove that and is right in contention.
That's classic German slider. Tina Hermann, Jackie Pfeiffer, you know, so many. Marion Trott.
Yeah, start, you know, it's definitely critical. You see that hit right there. She does a great job of handling it, gets a nice entry into 4. Just to fight a tiny bit right here, but then sticks it.
Yeah.
Those eyes, she knows where she wants to go. She's looking exactly where she wants to go.
Yeah. Just a little tap on the wall. She 2200s. That might have left her in 4th ahead of Tabby Sturker if that had been a clean exit, but ifs, buts and maybes don't win medals. Going to get a bit of noise here for Canada. This is the red vest of our world champion.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Canadian fans out there. She's got a good crowd here to support her.
World Championship gold medalist at the senior level in March last year. She went out this year and won the Junior Worlds as well. 5:29 getaway.
Haley is certainly an athlete.
It's her 3rd Worlds. Her first was as a US slider in St. Moritz, and then she won gold for Canada in Winterberg.
Yep, she slid it for the US for a while, so she has a lot of runs on this track. So basically a home track advantage for her here. So we should see that here.
A lot of steering going on, saw the elbow out, and again. 4th best, 100th off the lead.
See 109.6. Oh,
yeah.
A little hung up on 12. Let's see how her exit of 14 is.
One of those hard steers left her with only the 8th best speed. She's recovering a little. Really loosey.
Those early entrances down the heart really hurt you too.
Yeah. 6th of the line, 55.72. She is in the frame. She too ahead of Nicole Silveira by 400ths. So now 7 sleds within 0.3.
Yeah, I mean, you got a tight group right there, so it could be anyone's game.
We're talking about it in the first heat, saying that, you know, a lead can be 100th of a second. It takes 700ths of a second just to blink your eye.
Yeah.
So a 10th is a tiny amount of time.
Oh, it's a fraction of a second. It's not much, and all it takes is one little mistake and you lose that, or you gain it. And so, I mean, every run counts, and it's really important to put together 4 quality runs.
And she could be going for another 20 years if you look at some of the athletes she's sliding against. All right, so there's your world champion. Now, what about Jane Chandler? Again, and talking about the age difference, you know, talking about could go for another 20 years. Here's Jane, 36. Hallie Clark, her teammate, just 20. So Jane with experience on her side. This is her 8th World Championship. Made her debut in Winterberg last time round, back in 2015.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for experience, especially in these big high-pressure moments of World Champs. Experience is big.
And when things change,
yeah,
the more experience you have, the better you're able to...
You know how to handle the conditions, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the spidey senses pick up that the steers are working too well or not well enough, and you start to adjust immediately.
Oh, 519, great push.
Well, you know, if she was 20, she'd be doing 580s. She has not lost speed, has she?
No, she hasn't. She is a great starter. Had a little mistake out of 1. She got it back. She's still holding it well, but see how she does this highway.
All right. 300s in it. Let's see how the highway treats her. She's in the frame for top speed.
Decent.
Yeah.
Good push there.
Seventh best speed. She's kind of where Hallie Clark, her teammate, was just a sled ago.
Oh, just got there. She's holding. Let's see if that affects her.
Might cost her a 10th. Let's see where she is. 7th on the splits. 3100s back, 3800s off the lead, 55.85. So she slipped behind Nicole Soudera of Brazil and behind Janine Flock of Austria. So Janine now at the tail end of the top 10. Her run didn't really look like it was going to be like that.
No, it didn't. I'm actually...
Is the track speeding up?
You know, it could be. It could be. Sometimes the conditions and you get more sleds down it and it knocks that frost off. Yeah. It can speed up. It's you see it in St. Moritz all the time. It's something that happens. So
yeah, it's
definitely a possibility.
And then again, you know, you see the mistakes in the slow-mo and you go, oh, I don't know. This is so hard to read.
Yeah.
I love the fact that athletes and coaches are staring at the screen, perplexed in replay, and it's not just me and the audience at home that are trying to figure out how the what.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim Marmons, the narrow leader in the first of 4 heats, as we now get to Julia Erlacher, our Europe Cup champion. So the season-long champion in the second tier of sliding on the European circuits. We have a Europe Cup and a North America's Cup and an Asia Cup, and then over the top of it is the World Cup, the senior tier. So Julia, just 24 in her second World Championships, and that's a decent start, isn't it?
5:18 push time.
Oh, and she get that same skid out of one.
Yeah. She's had a really confidence-building season in Europe Cup. She's been really strong.
A little early there. It's going to knock her flat. This is knock her flat. She's going to go, yep, little skid there. So she lost a lot of speed there in the highway. It's going to be hard to get back.
Yeah, free fall there from 7th down to 13th on the splits. From the third fastest start of the competition, a little high and late.
Hung up there a little bit. Small tap.
And not hugely experienced here in Lake Placid, as you might imagine, from a young slider. Only her second season at the top tier.
Yeah.
Now, Mickey Grunberger's not having a great day of it, is he? Yeah, she's in 14th out of 16 sleds. She's still ahead of Hannah Neisser, the Olympic champion.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst day.
No, it's anyone's game, and this, like we said, this is a track that if you don't have a lot of runs on it, it's a tricky track. It's hard. It's not, doesn't have the flow like most tracks do in the world, and it shows in athletes that don't have a lot of runs here.
What did she just get for a fountain? A bit of chocolate or something? Well, I mean, when you see this like that, you get a really good view of the runners. You see the bow there, the tiny contact patch, and yet still, when it gets sideways, it's putting the brakes on.
Yeah, yeah. So you put that bow on the runners to get your contact surface area, and judging and deciding what to do on a day like today, it's a gamble a little bit.
I think she's cut her lip, actually.
Oh, you should get a little...
That's what that was, just a little bit of blood. Okay, next up, Italy's Alessia Crippa, 5th World Championships for Alessia. I beg your pardon, we're jumping ahead of ourselves there. Valentina Margalio. Now, Margalio crashed out at the World Championships last year in Winterberg, and has never really shown the sort of form that we know she can produce. She's a real mercurial slider.
Yeah, she's a nice little 1-2 there. She's looking pretty solid so far.
In motorsport, we'd say win it or bin it. She's always on the edge. But this year, it just seems to be permanently sliding. Her legs are always out of, and again, always out of line with the sled.
Yeah, and you throw that, you move your body around, and it throws in little small micro skids. It starts adding up. Yeah. Even if it's not big mistakes, it's small mistake and it adds up. So she's doing a decent job right here. Let's see if she can stick this.
Hard hit on the exit of the chicane. 14th best speed. She's the 17th sled. Not the first heat she needed either. 13th at the line. Well, Caleb Smith turns up again. He's obviously managed to drag himself away from the vineyards to do a little bit of coaching.
One of my old teammates.
Yes,
yep.
indeed. Yeah, he'll pop up. It's really interesting to see. You know the world champs are 2 or 3 weeks away when you see Shauna Roebuck in the coach's box and a few other well-known faces appearing.
It's a family. The sliding community is a family. I love it.
And bring the knowledge in. You can't have too much knowledge.
No, you can't.
Especially when you're in a track like here with Valentina that you're not intimate with. Yeah.
Yeah, and going out to her home track soon for the Olympics, it's going to be a big deal. Some runs going there.
It is. Yes, it is. Turned 31 in the autumn. So she's really in the prime years of her career. Now then, Kelly Curtis, 35 years old, missed all of last season, didn't compete in the Worlds in Winterberg or anywhere else because she became a mum. So she is starting to find her start speed again. The sliding was right on the nail from day one, but that postpartum speed that she's trying to gather back up, 5:34.
Not bad. Yeah, she'll get it back. She's a great slider here on her own track, and it's really good to see her back. And I can't imagine how hard it'd be to come back from having a kid, so hats off to her.
Absolutely.
All the athletes that do that always amaze me, impress me.
A number of young mums in the field.
There are.
New mums, Katie Humphries, Lana Myers-Taylor's a mum, Anne Van Nieuwenhuis, the Belgian coach, she's a new mum with a 6-month-old on tour.
She came off
best speed though, look at this.
Yeah, she came off 10 a little bit early, but was able to salvage it. Let's see if she gets here. Oh, great exit there. But speed was gone. Yeah, that
bit of speed.
Yeah, you saw it in 10. She came off a little too early and hit that left wall. When you do that, you don't get your push. You don't get the speed, and that shows up down the track. And
10th at the line, 55.89.
Still being in 10th place, pretty good.
Yeah.
She fixes those couple things, she could be right there.
10th best start. She was up to 8th place on the splits at the bottom of the Devil's Highway. And then that problem in Shady, taking away some speed.
Yeah, definitely some things to fix here. Does a good job handling that line, 3 to 4. You see nice parallel entry into 4. Little flop off of 12 there, but not bad. Small skid. Keeping that head nice and low there. Little drag of the toes.
She's U.S. Air
Well,
Force.
10th place, ahead of the 2023 World Champion and the 2022 Olympic Champion.
Good company.
Yeah, as you heard from Bree Scharf, she's in the US Air Force. She's actually stationed in Italy. Her and her husband live in Italy, which is kind of handy for Cortina, I guess. There you go. All right, now, third world champs for China's Li Yuxi. Made a debut in St. Moritz. She was 17th last time out in Winterberg.
Digging that helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chinese athletes have got some fabulous helmet art on both the men and the women's field. 5:22, another strong start.
5:22 push down.
You know, every coach says, give me a starter, I'll turn them into a slider.
That's the truth.
Doesn't always work, but if they can't start, then you have a hand tied behind your back.
You can't make a chicken noodle soup without the chicken. You need the talent.
Look at that, 100th in the lead still. She's holding her advantage over Kim Marmons. Wow.
Solid run going so far.
All right, 1/10 of a second back. And see, she's gone from first to 8th to 7th. 14th best speed, not great.
So she comes out here. Decent speed. Look at that speed coming.
Yeah, there you go. She was the chicane, goes from 14th to 6th best speed. She'll climb the orders, could be top 6 at the line.
It'll be close.
Ahead of Hannah Clark, 8th place. 3300s back.
Not bad, not bad. Way to bring it back there.
Yep.
She stopped that bleeding and got it right back.
Top speed 71.6 miles.
She was winning the battle of the Chinese sliders. She's 8th. Chao Dan down in 14th. That was a good run all the way down. Puts her in the frame.
Yeah, she'll be happy with that one.
Well, you say that, but is an athlete ever happy with a run? Even when you get a gold, you go, yeah, but I messed up 3 and 4 wasn't tidy, and yeah.
The thing about this sport, there's no such thing as a perfect run.
No.
There's always room for improvement.
Yeah. Every gold has a cloud.
Yep.
All right, Kim Malmans, Mystique Rowe, Kimberly Boss, the top 3, and now Katie Uhlaender, the last world champion in women's skeleton on this track. Won gold back in 2012 in one of her many skeleton careers. Coach Terry Holland on the top right of this shot. He was one of the founding fathers, along with the guys like Mickey Grunberger and Andy Schmidt of skeleton.
He was. I was just talking to him today. He slid out in St. Moritz this last week.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't fall like an old fool.
Katie's looking good so far.
Yeah. Well, last year she had a really strong season. This year she's been struggling with fitness and just not getting the starts and not as comfortable on the sled.
I tell you what, if anyone can drive this track, it's her. She has more runs on this track than anyone in the world.
She's got a start deficit, but look at the speed at the bottom.
She's building it. This is where she's going to start bringing it back.
Yeah.
See where her speed is out at 14. Oh, beautiful exit there. Second fastest speed.
Is there even a chicane there?
So she's going to start bringing it back here.
Yeah.
Beautiful heart.
Should be top 10 for Katie Uhlaender. Let's see where she is at the line. 12th place, 55.90.
Not bad. For a 5:44 start, I'm sure she'll be real happy with that. That was great driving down low.
18th at the top, 12th at the bottom.
She's always had the fun helmet.
Yeah.
Looks like the old Jimmy Shea.
Yeah, she's adopted that bald eagle years ago.
Really bad.
Oopsie.
I got more in me.
Yes, she does.
She does. Next 3 heats is going to be entertaining with Katie.
I don't know if I've ever heard her get down from a run and be happy.
She's got such if you take the helmet away, you still know it's Katie because she's got that legs akimbo style. She's always had, that's just what works for her.
She's got a unique style, and she's made it work for her.
She really has. So Kim Marmons from Mystique Row, Kimberly Boss, then Tabby Stoker, Anna Fernstedt and Hallie Clark, ahead of Nicole Silvera, Li Yuxi, and Janine Flock with Jane Channel rounding out the top 10. That's a very, very, very top 10. And still more potential changes to come. What about Alessia Cripper? Finally we get to her. Kind of introduced her a little earlier. 21st of our 29 starters. One of our younger athletes, just 24 years of age. With the Edelweiss on the helmet. 5:24. Not a bad getaway. 2/10 quicker than you just saw from Katie Uhlaender.
Nice smooth 1, 2, 3 there. Let's see. Oh, that's going to hurt her a little early there. It's going to hang her up, and she's going to be too early there. It's going to cost her some speed through this highway, trying to get this back. Let's see if she can get it back in 4:10.
If she can enter that,
In free fall from 9th to 17th on the splits.
The speed's not there.
Worst speed we've seen. Billy Schneider is not going to have a big smile on his face. Another of the early exponents of men's skeleton, Willie.
Does Willie ever have a smile on his face?
Oh, yes, he does. Yeah, no, I'm not having that. He definitely does. Well, 20th place, 56.54. He hasn't had much to smile about this year, but for the Italian team, it is about testing everything so that when they start next season, they know what they have, what they are using, and then they polish the living daylights out of their performance on that sled, on those runners. So
Willie is a genius with the equipment, and he knows how to get it ready, and I guarantee this Italian team is going to be ready to go for the Olympics. There's no doubt in my mind.
Alessia, possibly our most petite athlete, actually. I can't think even Hallie Clark is taller than Alessia. So she doesn't have mass on her side, and that means that it's harder for gravity to accelerate her when she's made a mistake. But, see you later. But she loves what she does. Now then, for Switzerland, the first of 2 Swiss sliders in a row. This is Sarah Schmidt. She should be hovering around the tail end of the top 20 on pace, but gets kicked sideways out of the right groove.
Yeah, that right groove was not easy to get through today. Stuck on the left-hand side out of 1. Got it back though well.
You've got to hope that between the runs somebody's going to just cut the end of that groove a little and graduate it out of the groove onto the track a little better.
Yeah, that flat before is going to hurt her in the highway. It's going to deplete some speed here.
And again, like Valentina Margalio, sideways everywhere, and all of that is robbing speed out of the sled.
Yeah, she's definitely moving around on the sled. She can definitely use to relax a little bit this second run.
Now the chicane.
Again, home ice in Samarit. She knows the European tracks pretty well, but very limited experience here. Last World Cup race here in Lake Placid was after the World Championships in Winterberg, and not too many athletes made the trip across.
Yeah.
It's an expensive business now crossing the Atlantic.
It is. It's an expensive sport.
Yeah.
7 sleds remaining.
Yeah, she got caught. Her 3 to 4. 4 is really hurting a lot of these athletes. You've seen this early lines knocking them flat, and then you don't get that flow in the highway. It's critical. Top athletes have to get this flow. So right here you'll see she hits back the sled first, and then you'll see she goes in her early direction, hits her away. That's going to make her flat and cost her time.
So much of that in training. Actually, even when the ice was really cold and hard, athletes whooping up and down through 3 and 4.
Well, these athletes, it's unique to hit a wall, and it's hard to control hitting a wall. And sometimes that wall has ice that's uneven on that, and sometimes it can shoot you a direction that you're not ready to get shot.
Absolutely.
It's unpredictable, so it's not easy to do.
Track is clear.
Our second Swiss athlete, Julia Simpson. Her mum and dad were both sliders. Dad and grandfather were bobsledders. And her mum slid skeleton as well, Connie Simpson. So Jean and Alain Ricky, both successful bobsledders at World Championship level. Max Robert there up at the top. The French bobsleigh coach cheering her on.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
568. It's a bit of a slow start. See if she can get some speed going here from that.
Well, some athletes have that family relationship. Some get recruited from other sports. Some just see it on TV and think that's a crazy thing I should do. Like Zach Lund.
Yeah, it's a fun story to see. Oh, leg flailing there. Really late going in here to 10. This should be interesting on the exit. Yeah, 20th on the speed. Yeah, it's not a sport that everyone grows up thinking I'm going to be a skeleton athlete. It's one of those things where everyone has their unique route, don't they?
Yeah, and you know, especially for US sliders, Salt Lake was such a recruiting tool because everybody was watching. And your story isn't uncommon. There are lots of athletes in the field now who saw it on TV or watched it with friends and went, yeah, you're mad enough to do that. You should do that sport. And that's how they end up here.
Yeah,
it's a great. The Olympics is a great recruiting tool for the sport.
Oh, it is. It is. It's exciting to get people excited. It gets me excited. I mean, I grew up watching the Olympics, and it's what inspired me to want to be an Olympian.
There you go.
I got my girls playing volleyball this year after watching the Summer Olympics, and man, watching those athletes, it inspires people.
Well, it's that old thing, you know, monkey see, monkey do. If you see it, then you know it exists. If you don't see it, then you don't find it. And it's that exposure that helps sports so much. So, yeah, mixed messages there from the body language of Julia Simpson. Not as happy as perhaps the smile might have suggested. Now, from the less winter-orientated Puerto Rico comes Kelly Delka. Kelly started as a US slider.
Yep.
Again, Jack Thomas behind, helping out with the coaching.
You haven't noticed?
Puerto Rico.
You haven't noticed she likes pink.
Yeah. Yeah, pink and sunshine. 5:52. And you know, this is a great place for Kelly to come for the Worlds because this is where she started, where she grew up on ice. This is the track of all of them she knows best.
Yeah, I coached her here for many years, and she's got a lot of runs here, and she's actually a really good slider here. It's probably one of her strongest tracks in the world, so good opportunity for her to get a good result.
23rd at the start, up to 21st. To get this confidence-building run. 16th best speed, so she should climb further up the top 20.
Oh, hung up a little on 14. That's good, but it's decent push.
Here we go. Yeah. Let's see if she gets a nice heart.
Bringing it back.
Yeah. Could be 16th, 17th at the line, 19th place, 56.47. Oh, hey, Meg Henry. Finally, she shows up. Former US slider.
Yeah, it was a good solid run for her first run. I think that she has a few things to clean up, and she'll put definitely a good result for this race.
Yeah. Listen, this is a great place to build that confidence for her going into the Olympic season next year, to round out with a comfortable and speedy world champs. Yeah, she'll be heading back to Puerto Rico next week, sitting in the sunshine going, yeah, that was a pretty good way to end the season.
Yep.
To get ice time, especially because it's such a unique track.
Yeah, that is quite the sled.
Yes, it is. All right. From small nation to small nation, Laura Vargas representing Colombia. Now, in the same way that Kelly started in the US, Laura started in Canada, and Joe Cicchini is the Canadian coach. They're helping with the sled. Joe with his group in Calgary. Although they don't have the track anymore, they still train at the Ice House. It's still that little close-knit group of athletes, which Laura is very much a part.
Yeah, Joe he does a great job of supporting the smaller nations and giving them the support they need, because it's hard to get the support you need in this high level. So he does a great job of that.
He started a little club called the Snipers.
Yep.
And, among other things, they now produce sprint shoes for the athletes as well for competing in. 24th on the top, to 25th on the splits.
No big mistakes, just a lot of small stuff here, no push there, slow speed. But she's not looking terrible.
Third world champs, she competed in St. Moritz and in Winterberg. Didn't make the final heat in either of her two previous outings. Needs to be in the top 25 at the end of the third heat to do that.
Rough heart, it's going to hurt a little bit. That uphill, yeah.
57.46. I guess I probably need to say hello to the citizens of Fruitvale, British Columbia as well. I don't know if Joe's mum is still the mayor there, but yeah.
Mayor? I did not know that.
She was,
really?
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, Joe, I competed against Joe back in the day.
Yeah.
It's been around quite a long time.
Well, Lara, like so many small nations, just lives on enthusiasm.
You gotta love that. It's a fun sport. I mean, you gotta have fun doing this. If you're not having fun, what are you doing, right?
Exactly. And, you know, your leader or the biggest nations, the athletes are no different. They all bleed for their sport. They might have better backup. They might have different kit. But there's no bigger heart than the small nation athletes.
Yeah, they're all doing the same amount of hard work. It's my hat's off to them. It's
absolutely. Well, we have a Belgium leader. That's not going to change after this sled, because this is Belgium's Elena Peltmans. Now, I'm not suggesting she's going to take the lead. Head of her federation there, filming on the phone. Now, she actually trains not with Kim Malmans of Belgium, but with Kimberly Boss of the Netherlands. So she's on a Bromley sled, but it's not a Richard Bromley sled, it's a Crystal Bromley sled.
I didn't even know there was a difference.
They're very different.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, this is news to me.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's take a look at Elena, one of the younger sliders. Third World Championships for her. St. Moritz was her first, so in her first cycle, her first quad at the top level.
She's got a decent little run going here.
Yeah. At the moment, she is ahead of Laura Vargas, and she is also looking like she might be ahead. 24th place ahead of Sarah Schmidt, chasing down Julia Simpson. She's ahead of both Swiss sliders. Now challenging Freya Tarbit, a World Cup race winner. She's ahead of Tarbit at the line. That is a really good run. We saw there the Dutch coach. Tells you all you need to know. Coaches Kimberly Boss and Elena Peltmans. That's a really, really good first heat. That's excellent
She'll be happy with that. I can't imagine she has a lot of experience here either.
No, exactly. So Joska Lecoq, there's Kristen Bromley. So Kristen and Richard started building sleds together for Kristen back in your day.
My day.
Yeah, Grandpa. And there, see Kimberly Boss there in the orange yelling her off at the top. But the two have diverged, particularly when Richard started coaching the Koreans, and that had to be absolutely
so there had to be a
separate in the lead
separate.
to Pyeongchang. And so we're talking about the other night, we should now have KB sleds and RB sleds, because they are very different. The name's the same, to protect the innocent, but the kit is a very different thing.
Well, I learned something new today.
There you go. Every day's a school day. And some of what I say might be true. Next up, our penultimate slider for Spain, Clara Aznar, one of our 17-year-olds. We've had 3 17-year-olds competing in the World Cup this season.
17.
And she was the oldest.
Have to get out of high school for this? This is
17. Yeah, I mean, presumably she's doing her homework right after this.
That's amazing.
5:54 getaway, and that's, you know, part of this young Spanish team that Ana Mirambel has been creating. They had a film made about them. They all missed one of the races this season, Beijing, to go to the Premier in Spain. So it's really starting to gain some traction. A little while she can do gaining some traction. 24th at the start, out to 25th place behind Yulia Simpson.
Dragging her head through that curve. G-forces missed the push out of 10. That's going to really hurt her. Speed's not there.
And again, this year is her first season, full-time season in World Cup. She's buried ahead there.
Yeah.
But was not on the right line through the chicane.
When you can't keep that head up in the curves, it's hard. It's really hard to do your steers the right timing. It's definitely something she has to learn to deal with.
I think she was trying to get the aerodynamic form there, but unfortunately at the expense of seeing where she was going. You know, we always say head up where they're looking where they're going slows you down because you're creating drag. So you saw her put her head down into the chicane. She thought she had the line, but then when you've only done 6 runs of training.
Pretty good consider, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I'd say.
And you've got to start somewhere. I'm sure you remember your first day at Altenburg or your first day at St. Moritz or whatever, and just done track walks, still clueless.
And sometimes when it's on a big stage like this, you just do the best you can,
Yeah.
and that's great. And hats off. Like, I mean,
well, every day, you know, whatever knowledge level you've got, you're always trying to do the best you can, and that will improve as you get more knowledge, and in her case, more years on ice, more experience. Well, there's a familiar face as well. There's a man you've competed against more than once.
Yes, I have competed against that man a lot. We used to battle.
Really rainy men's skeleton worlds here.
I was.
Yeah, that was whitewater rafting before the roof and all of that.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. It's probably, I think it might have been my worst World Championship race. It's actually on my home track here.
Yeah. So, for Malta, Shannon Galea, again, we've had some unusual potential winter sport countries. The tiny Mediterranean island of Malta. Shannon Galea, again, heart as big as a lion. 5:75 getaway.
A few small skids through there, but no big mistakes.
Again, I think she grew up on the North American tracks. And actually, it's a pretty smooth looking run.
Yeah, she's doing a decent little run here. It's nice exit there. Speed's not quite there, unfortunately, but the track definitely could be slowing down right now. Track crew's done a great job trying to keep this track together in these conditions. It is not easy.
Well, no, that's absolutely right. It's warmed up. And we've got a bunch of track workers here from Koenigsegg Bavaria as well, who've been here for the last 2 weeks helping shape the ice. So 59.31.
Yeah, keeping the track together in these conditions is not easy, and
especially
so hats off to those guys. That's
this week, yeah, I mean, taking the ice out of 18, out of 17, out of 14.
Yeah,
a lot of hard hits. So Shannon Galea completes our first heat. 28 sleds, all safely down. Couple of little wild moments.
Yeah, getting a little hung up there on the exit 12. Never fun.
And you see when the athlete and the sled are bounced in the air, I can't stand and lift that with that sled with somebody on it. So you know the amount of energy it takes.
It's taking the pop that up.
That is energy that should be driving you down the track and no longer is.
It's exactly what it is. It's lost energy. It's friction.
Yeah. And so it's that potential energy that helps you accelerate, and the more you knock off, It's like a bucket of energy. The more hits you have, the less energy is left in the bucket.
It all counts.
That's physics 101 with Martin Haven, your tutor. Now then, first heat, Kim Marmon's leading. This could be very special indeed for Lil Kim, the Belgian. Silver medalist last year behind Hallie Clark in Winterberg. She leads a tight, packed field. There's her mum.
Yeah, we got a tight field.
Yeah, 600s. Men's field was led by 4400s after the first heat. So Kimberly Boss in third, Tabby Sturcker 200s back, 400s back, Anna Fernstedt 300s back, Hallie Clark 400s back. I mean, tiny, tiny margins. And Jane Channel and Janine Flock at the bottom of the top 10, definitely not out of the hunt. They're still closer to the leader than the second place tie in the men's field. So outside the top 10, Kelly Curtis, Katie Ulender, 11th and 12th for the USA, then world champion Suzanne Crair, Amelia Coltman, all the way down to the Olympic champion Hannah Neiser in 20th. 25th, Sarah Schmidt, so just outside Lara Vargas, Clara Asnar. They need to try and find something in the second and third heat tomorrow to make that final run. That's it for the first of our two heats this afternoon, and the second will be up on air at... pauses for effect and for the screen to refresh itself where are we? That's tomorrow. Oh dear, it's all going wrong. 1800 local, 2100 GMT, 2200 Central European. On behalf of the crew here, Zach Lund and Martin Haven saying thank you for being with us. We'll see you soon.
It now has adult beverages, it has pretzels. We've even got real Germans in eating pretzels. All the way from Dortmund. Axel Young, this is where your family are enjoying their time here. But swing on in, because this place is not just food and beverage, it's a warming area, it's got almost museum-like feel, and DJ Funky Cold Medina is coming back. We believe he's coming back. He's not here right now yet. He needs to go home and take a nap because the kids that were dancing tied him out, so he went home, took a nap. We have one more run left. The women's in Skeleton on the day one of the World Championships 2025 here in Lake Placid. Let's say beer, wine, museum, sleds, good people. I've seen Orby and B-Mac, former US coaches, are here. If you want to meet someone, come here, come have a chat with someone local. We'll be in here for a little bit longer, but we're going to throw it right now back up to DJ Tommy Mock, who's our DJ, to turn some tunes before DJ Funky Cold Medina comes back and rocks the festival tent. Stuart, who's he saying? So we could probably the last time for the festival tent. Swing on in.
So thanks very much, Stuart, for giving us an update down below there, and I'm looking forward to the pretzel